So it was revealed at the recent Warhammer Fest that the fan favourite Knight Lancer was finally coming, new and improved, in plastic in the very near future. And fans of Knights, which if you know me you know I am, went absolutely crazy over the news. The idea of getting a plastic version of the Cerastus chassis was a really long overdue and really wonderful bit of news for anyone that has ever wanted one of those old Forge World Knights but either couldn't afford or didn't want the hassle of dealing with resin to get one. And so whilst the Lancer itself is actually my least favourite of the Cerastus Knights, the idea of getting it in a plastic kit is super exciting to me, and I almost certainly will be picking one up. However, it seems there may be yet more to celebrate, because a picture has been floating around since yesterday of another plastic sprue, and you can see it here on your screen now, but this is very clearly a sprue that contains parts for another Cerastus Knight chassis. Not the Lancer this time, this is very much a kit that looks like it has got the parts for the Knight Acheron. It clearly shows the different style chainsword that the Acheron has, being much thinner and leaner, and then a few other hints at the Acheron's specific weaponry, with the gun shield and the flame cannon being very visible at the top half of the sprue. So this, to me anyway, is pretty clear confirmation that it isn't just the Lancer coming, it does look like the Acheron is getting a plastic release too. And based on the fact that it is on a unique separate sprue with just the weapon and like unique details of the Acheron, is this going to mean, like we have currently for the Paladin, the Errant, the Gallant, the Crusader and all that the Cerastus Knight body is all going to come in one kit with the other options for the various chassis choices inside the box as a separate sprue? And by that I mean, will you be able to buy one Cerastus Knight kit and build any of the Cerastus Knight variants? Because let's be honest, much like the current Knights, the actual design of the Cerastus Knights is largely the same. They are all that same long-legged style, and it does appear on the face of it anyway that it would be quite easy to just have the weapon options as separate sprues inside the box, because that's the only thing that would really be unique no matter what design you were building, whether you were building a Lancer or an Acheron. The actual body of it would be using the same stuff as each other type. It would just be the weapon options that would need that separate sprue to build those unique weapons. And so does that also mean that not only are the Lancer and the Acheron going to be getting plastic kits, but maybe the Castigator too? Because the Acheron with its anti-infantry flame cannon is cool and all, but I would love to see a plastic Castigator. This is the one that you can see on your screen now with a bolt cannon and its very unique melee option in the Tempest Warblade. It's still very much an anti-infantry variant, currently like the Knight Warden is with its Gatling cannon, but it just looks so much cooler, and this is easily one of my favourite Knight designs that they've ever done. I've never owned one, I nearly have, long story, but I've never owned one, but I've always wanted to, so if that did come in plastic, I would grab one in a heartbeat. And then there is of course another technically Cerastus variant, and that is the Atropos, and now this flat out is my favourite Knight design out of all of them. But even if the Castigator, the Acheron and the Lancer do end up being one kit, I sincerely doubt that the Atropos will join them. And that's because, as you can see, it does have quite a few more unique parts to it. So despite being a Cerastus design, things like the chest piece, the shoulders, even the individual sort of leg armor plating is all substantially different. And it's got that much more Beetle style back design on it too. So as much as I would love to see it, I do think that if there is a combined kit coming for the Cerastus Knights, it will just be the three quote-unquote classic Cerastus Knights, and it won't be the Atropos as well. It is worth noting, if you look on Forge World, that currently the Lancer is down as being out of stock. The Castigator and the Acheron are both still there and still available. Now, of course, this could just be a coincidence. We don't know when the plastic Lancer is meant to be coming. Maybe it does point towards the fact that it is just going to be the Lancer that's coming in plastic first, and then the other two will get a separate release further down the line, and then maybe a couple of years after that they will do a combined kit of all three. I think that's what they did originally with the like 40k current knights, what are they called? Can't remember the name of the knight design, but you know, the errant and the paladin. I'm pretty sure they used to have an individual kit, if I remember correctly, and then they combined them all together when the other variants came out. So maybe they will do that for these Cerastus ones as well. And then, of course, you got to think, what does this mean for the bigger knights like the Porphyrion? Again, I would love to see it in plastic, but that is leaning more towards Titan size. Like, I think that's nearly as big as a Warhound. So I don't imagine them doing that in plastic anytime soon. In the recent article they did with a load of Forge World stuff going away, that they did on Warhammer Community, I think it was earlier this week, they did mention that whilst they are moving some stuff towards plastic, there are still some things that they don't quite have the design capacity or capability for. But they did put, they don't have the capability for it yet. So maybe there is a long-term goal of being able to do things like the Porphyrion and then eventually bigger titans like the Warhound and the Reaver in plastic. Maybe that is a long-term goal for GW. I just think it's going to be one of those things that is going to take quite a while to get round to. And maybe it does mean that one day a big full-size plastic Thunderhawk will come. Who knows? But it certainly isn't going to be anytime soon. So that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to point this out in case you hadn't seen it. It does look as though the Acheron version of the Cerastus is almost confirmed to be coming now. It is just a question as to whether you think this is going to be in a separate Knight Acheron box, or will there be a combined Cerastus kit that lets you build the Lancer, the Acheron, and maybe even the Castigator. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, as well as what you think may be happening in the future when it comes to bigger models like the Porphyrion and bigger Titans. I'd love to know if you think we will ever see them in plastic as well. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.